Discover a system for reading more books. Read like a pro and dramatically get more from your reading. A cure for poor reading habits. The must for effective reading. Everything about reading in this video. This video guides how to read more books, so it's a little longer than usual. Please don't skip any section as I have tried to build one concept on top of the other. I promise that by the end of this video, you will have a solid foundation on why reading is a remarkable habit. You will know how to select good books. You will learn strategies for skimming and reading. You will also learn how to retain more of what you read. Since you're watching this video, some part of you deep down must believe there is more to reading than the way we have been taught. Time is one thing you cannot get back. I want you to gain the greatest return on your investment from reading books. We have a lot to cover. Let's dive in. Reading is not a passive activity. It liberates your brain more than virtually any other activity. The more you are engaged in the reading process, the more you will understand the book. What does active reading entail? Give the same book to two different people, one person reads it better than the other. All because of his higher level of engagement and ability to understand, retain, and recall. Therefore, I consider reading is a complex activity. In my whole life, I have known no wise people over a broad subject matter area who didn't read all the time. None, zero. Charlie Munger. I know you're busy and think you don't have time to read, but I want to persuade you that the benefits of reading will pay you more than you can imagine. Reading books always pays big dividends one day. If you can read just 20 pages daily, you will read at least 20 books by the end of the year. Just keep trudging along every day. I want to clarify before I move forward. When I talk about reading, I am referring to non-fiction books. I will teach you techniques for reading more books from my personal experience. When was the last time you took a class or training in how to read? Probably in 4th or 5th grade. The complexity of the material you read now has increased. Unfortunately, your reading skills have remained the same. If reading is so essential, how come we neglect how to read more books effectively? Reading for information and reading for understanding are two different aspects of reading according to me. It would be best if you always read for comprehension. So many books are published every year on every possible topic. You aim to read good books efficiently and strategically by understanding and retaining more information. If you forget what you read, then what's the point of reading? Reading is an investment of your precious time. Don't get eager to finish as many books as possible without understanding and retaining them. I have a problem with speed reading when used in isolation without focusing on comprehension. Please don't sacrifice knowledge for the sake of completing books. You're only deceiving yourself if your main focus is speed reading without learning. However, it is a good idea to check your reading speed. Pick a book of your choice and read a page. Count the words, time yourself, and do the math. You can test your reading speed very quickly. Here is a rough estimate. Let's assume you read a book of 300 pages with 450 words per page and with a reading speed of 150 words per minute. You would need approximately 15 hours to finish such a book. If you read for 2 hours daily, you could complete the book weekly. If you're busy, you may complete the book in 2 weeks by reading 1 hour per day. You could end up with 52 or 26 books in a year But not all books are 300 pages long, and not all books have 450 words per page. Here is a general rule of thumb for me. For a book of 250 pages, I calculate approximately 12 hours to finish the book. Depending on how many hours I read daily, I can read a book within 1 to 2 weeks with a good understanding. You have to read with a purpose. You will never have enough time to read the books that interest you. You can barely manage to read just 1% of the books published in your field. Therefore, you must make sure you read the best. There is no way you can read every book on your favorite topic. The only way to read is to be very selective. If you want to read for success, you must select good books and create a method to read smarter. So, how do we select good books? I firmly believe selecting and deciding which books to read is equally essential. I block 1 hour per week on researching good books. The moment I find one, I buy it and then line it up in my reading list. I don't create my reading list on impulse. Instead, I craft it after careful consideration of my interests and aspirations. I usually come across worthwhile books only after much research. I consider this effort a fundamental investment. Emerson said, "There are many things of which a wise man might wish to be ignorant." I like that quote. Inspired by this quote, I rank my book research into 3 categories. The first category, I call it inferior. These books are downright bad and a waste of time. They appear attractive with a great cover page but have very little to offer and even misguide with incorrect information. You pick them because you were too lazy to research. The second category is average. The books in this category are neither good nor bad, just neutral. They represent the same old ideas rehashed. It neither hurts nor helps but robs you of your valuable time. These books are enticing and easy to slip into and will fill you up and tire you out with information. So many online courses also fall into this category. The third category is premium. The books in this category are golden. They are life-changing, inspirational, and worth rereading. They demand a lot from the reader and are intellectually challenging, emotionally engaging. Such books help you to improve. They make you feel good about yourself and your time investment. After research, create a reading list of crème a la crème or top-class books for your personal growth and development. Your list should always have enough books to draw upon, depending on your mood and need. Commit to reading only premium books from now on. Find a way that works best for you. I usually create a quarterly list, but you must have a reading list of 12 books available at any given time. A thriving reading list also puts positive psychological pressure by removing excuses for what you will read in the next quarter. My strategy is to read important stuff that I can retain and then use it to improve my life. So my tactics are to read less and learn more. Read less and learn more. If I can carry just one good idea from a book and use it, I consider it as a successful reading activity. If you find value in my content, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for your support. So now we come to the next part, how to read, some tactics for reading. Here are some tactics to read less but learn more. Number 1, focus on what's essential by skimming the table of content. TOC gives you a good idea of what the book has to offer. As mentioned earlier, if you have researched well, you will find 1 or 2 good ideas that resonate with you. Read the preface. Give special attention to chapter 1. Please read the first chapter, which serves as the book's executive summary. The first chapter usually tells you if the book is well written. Quickly glance over each chapter's first paragraph and each paragraph's first sentence. Select the chapters that you think will have the most significant benefit for you. Look for 2 to 3 chapters that would immediately impact your learning goals. After identifying the critical chapters, start looking for the big practical ideas within those chapters. Don't spend valuable time learning something that you can't implement immediately. You'll forget. Once you discover a brilliant idea, read slowly and absorb everything the author says. Think about it and intellectualize it. Number 8, find answers to your questions. So often, the answers we want are there, but we are not asking the right questions to spotlight them. By doing so, your reading would be targeted and efficient because you have already primed your mind to look for specific answers. Number 9, questions are the answers. Therefore, I place specific questions in my mind before reading the book. What am I really trying to find here? Similarly, I would suggest you consider the questions before reading your book. Here are questions that can trigger your mind to create more questions. How can I use this information? How can I apply this information? Or why must I use this information? Or when can I use this information? And you can make many more, but you'll find answers to these questions. Number 10, if you prep your mind with the right questions before you read, you will see answers everywhere. Instead of passively reading, consider these questions as you take in the knowledge. You rewire your brain whenever you ask a question. Search for the solution within the book and find one. Number 11, don't be greedy. You are already a winner if you get one big idea from each book. Finally, reading the entire last chapter often serves as a review. It prompts you with ideas to explore topics you could have missed in your initial scanning. After finishing the book, pick your favorite big idea, then use it within next couple of days. It will help you to remember more and find its way into your thinking process. You will be amazed at how much you can get out of a book by skimming and reading slowly. You can call this approach speed reading, but I prefer to call it a slow, fast approach. So now we come to the next section, how to retain what you read. Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. Albert Einstein. You read something only to forget it the next day. Hasn't it happened to you? Don't blame yourself. There is a flaw in your method because you try to read at a long stretch to finish the book quickly. We all know students who sit just one night before the exams to cram everything in one time don't do well. So how do you retain more? By taking frequent breaks. I understand your eagerness to read non-stop, but your brain needs breaks. Your brain needs time to assimilate the information. The brain learns more by creation than consumption. Research suggests that we forget 50% of what we learn within an hour and an average of 70% within 24 hours. Psychologists call this the forgetting curve. Research also suggests that our concentration ability decreases after 25 to 30 minutes. If we spend any longer on a given task, we are getting diminishing return on our investment. Quick favor, please get off the fence and decide to subscribe to my channel. I predict you will not regret it. Also, let me know how you plan to apply these techniques in your reading in the comments below. Optimal time for task is 25 minutes followed by a 5-minute break. Every 25 minutes is a chunk called Pomodoro. Take a 5-minute break to rest and recall what you have just read. Then start the next chunk of 25 minutes. The Pomodoro technique creates the effect of primacy and recency. Primacy means that you are more likely to remember what you read at the beginning of a session, a class, or presentation. The effect of recency is that you are also likely to remember the last thing that you learned most recently. It breaks your learning into multiple sessions of start and finish, start and finish. The curve looks something like this. The chances are you will remember what you have read in the first 20 minutes, and the chances are you will remember the last 20 minutes of your reading. But a lot of what happens in between could become a dead space. You retain far more of what you are learning by creating beginnings and endings. Beginnings and endings. When you take breaks, you create more beginnings, more endings, and remove the dead spaces. You retain far more by reading in chunks of 25 minutes. Set a timer for 25 minutes using a phone. Strictly use it as a timer and don't allow the phone to distract you from your focused reading. Learning is difficult when you are not attentive and present. Concentrate on what you are reading for that amount of time. When the alarm goes off, stop reading, then write down what you've learned within those 25 minutes for 1 minute. Remember, your mind is like a parachute. It only works when it's open. Take notes while reading after the end of each Pomodoro. The more active you are, the faster and more you will learn. Have you ever read a page in a book and arrived at the end and could not recall what you just read? You may only read it only to forget it again. The reason is that you are not fully engaged. The human brain does not learn as much by consumption as it does by creation. How can you become more active in your learning? To retain what you read, find someone to whom you can share the biggest takeaway from the book as soon as you finish a book, usually within 24 hours. If you can't find someone, jot down the points in your journal, including all the big and small ideas. Review what you have written within the next 24 hours and then again the following week. This method works to retain what you've read. Focusing your attention on one big idea and then using it within 72 hours will help you to remember more and find its way into your thinking process. Parting shot. Reading liberates your brain more than any other activity, and it is vital in the present times. Make reading a habit. If you can't find time, block 15 minutes each day for reading and put it in your calendar like a doctor's appointment. Make it like a game and have fun. With my strategy, you can sprint through the book without compromising comprehension. Once you make this style a habit, you will enjoy reading. If you care about your growth, do it seriously. But make it fun. I would appreciate your support. Please subscribe to my channel and share this video with one person. Let me know in the comments what resonated well with you. Hit the bell icon to get notified when I publish new videos. Okay? Stand strong and celebrate your gifts. Trust yourself, know yourself, and be yourself. Your time is the greatest asset. Happy reading. Thanks for watching. Love and respect. Bye.